Still here. But guess what? It must have been time to wake up because Saki and Club Prez left through the doors. Bye! I'll see you guys tomorrow. If I'm able to get up. Yeah, Saki's got us on lockdown. It's fine. No. Then the two of them left. I'll figure something out. See ya, Alice. Figured okay, bye. Alice looked a little lonely, but I couldn't stay here forever. So I went through the doors, but... Huh? Uh-oh. Even though I had gone through the doors, I was sitting on the sofa like I always did. That'd be weird. Like, you go through them, you're like, alright, I'll see you guys later. You try to wake up, go through the doors, and then you just appear on the couch in here, and you're like, help. Yeah, I don't know. I had appeared behind Alice after she saw me off, so she looked at me in wonder. Guess not. Looks like it. I got the feeling that if I went through the doors again, I would either end right back up here or another strange dream. Or maybe you kept me here, Alice. You said probably. So it, like, subconsciously she kept me here. I couldn't get angry with her when she was being so honest. There was nothing wrong with her thinking that. Well, that's fine, I guess. I gave up and sat back down on the chair before reaching for a scone. The other pastries were too sweet for me, so I didn't feel like eating a lot. I munched on the not too sweet, not too dry, perfectly cooked, superb scone. I mean, you know, it's... Why do you ask that all of a sudden? I mean, it's a topic. Alice sat on her usual chair and held her knee. I wondered if she realized that her skirt was being propped up when she put her leg on her chair. I wasn't about to tell her, though. Well, there's no need to pretty it's fine. The reason I held back with Saki was because of my own inadequacies. And I was sure, well, pretty sure Alice knew that too. I'm not dreaming when I say it'll work out somehow. Even if I end up not having a girlfriend. I've said this before, but I'm honestly a real pain when I'm awake. Because of my lucid dreams, I was always frowning, and my physical condition couldn't be called stable. It's not like I've given up, but I understand that there are some pretty real hurdles. I finished the scone and was licking the crumbs from my fingers when I noticed Alice was staring at me. I'm a weird person. What is? Normally, yes, and some people take it to extreme levels, and but it's not that I don't want one. I just don't want to aim too high and count my chickens before they hatch. Maybe. I unconsciously tried to limit the number of people close to me because it would be painful if we had to part. If the tranquility of my mind was a vessel, then it was a cracked one and on the verge of splitting or spilling. Saki somehow managed to support me. Because Saki. If anything more happened, then I didn't know what would happen to me. What about you, Alice? Do you ever wish you had a boyfriend at some point? Alice rocked her chair slightly back and forth. You don't know? What do you... She said, looking troubled. Hey. I know, but like, I guess you could be like, what about you now? You still can't remember? That's so strange. Come to think of it, she did say that she had been to Sukyu before, so she probably didn't live that far away.
つまり私は男の子っていうとトールくらいしかまともに話してないわけで、そこで好きか嫌いかっていうともう相手が一人しかいないじゃない。
That means I have a chance. I'm the only one. Yeah, I guess.
なんでわかんない。トールのことは嫌いじゃないし、むしろこうして話してたり一緒にいるのは好きなんだけど。
So that's good then.
それって友達ってことじゃないのかなと思うわけですよ。
Well, yeah, you're not gonna want to be friends with someone you just fucking hate being around. Well, even if you did start loving or hating someone in such a short amount of time, you wouldn't know why.
Yes. まあ、わからない以上答えようもないわけで。
Seemingly unable to settle down, Alice grabbed the bottom of the chair and rocked back and forth. I thought, don't blame me if you fall. I used to do that when I was younger. Which goes to show you how childish and adorable Alice actually can be, I guess. She's got like that, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, she's got that innocence, I guess. I don't know. With all her actions and what she does, it's just adorable and innocent. Well, maybe when you're awake, you have someone like that. Who knows? You know, since you don't remember anything, what's with the lack of confidence? She was a bit of a looker, and her personality wasn't bad either. I even got the feeling she could get a boyfriend right away if she decided she wanted to.
いや、だってさきちゃんとか弥生も彼氏いないんでしょ。なのに私にいるかもなんて思わないって。
Like, if we consider she's in the hospital, like we have been, since she was in the hospital, or someone who may or may not be her was in the hospital, you know, with us, she might still be there, and that's where she's been this whole time. So she's not gonna get a boyfriend in the real world if that's the case, unless she's a totally different person. In which case, oh my god! Those two just aren't interested. Saki had her hands full with me, and though Club Prez had her admirers, I didn't know what she herself thought. Maybe she had someone she was in love with? I personally feel bad for intruding on her personal life, if I'd mustered up the courage to ask.
トールは私に彼氏がいてもおかしくないって言うの？
I don't think it'd be weird. That's what I think. I'm not saying you definitely have one, but I wouldn't be surprised if you did. If you're not interested, then I think it's fine if you don't have one.
その気か。
Oh. Seeming to have thought of something, Alice got down from her chair and came over to me. What do you want? And proceeded to stare at my face. She really was restless. What are you doing?
観察？他に男の子いないし。
I'm not the best, I'm not the best example of a man.
好きになるとか気になるとかそういうのってどういうことなんだろうね。
Well, if we're just talking about being interested in someone, then I'm interested in you, Alice.
それは私がよくわかんないから？それとも一応女の子として？
I'm more just interested in her as a person. More like a girl, not tentatively. Though I said that to go with the flow of the conversation, I suddenly got embarrassed as I wondered why I said that. But Alice didn't seem to mind and instead stared at me.
多分私もトールのことは気になってると思うよ。
Well then, this is a weird kind of situation. Don't you think that's because you hardly know anyone else?
そうかもしれないけど、一応私だって好き嫌いくらいは自分で判断できるよ。
Alice sounded a little annoyed. Certainly it wasn't like she was ignorant of those things, and my choice of words wasn't that great either. I shouldn't be saying this about myself, but I'm like bad debt at best. Yep. I had heard those words somewhere before. Oh god.
自分で言うのもなんだけど、 僕なんて不良債権もいいところだよ。
Damn. I suddenly remembered a voice, but I couldn't remember who said it. Dun dun dun! Oh, God. And then for some reason, the next thing I knew, Alice was kissing me. Whoa! Whoa! Alice's face was right before my eyes as a soft sensation spread over my mouth. There was no mistaking it, but I couldn't understand why this was happening. There was a sudden nostalgic smell. Before I could remember what it was, Alice's lips and face slowly moved away from mine, and the feeling of regret washed over me. Alice? The fuck? Still unable to understand what had happened, I spoke first. It's like, okay, that was weird. Just then, Alice was back to being her usual self. Her face turned bright red, and she began to panic. I didn't do anything!
自分でもなんでこんなことをしたかわからないというか、なんかしたくなったっていうか、しなきゃと思ったっていうか。
It's the other self.
そういうこと言うもんじゃないって言おうと思ったら、勝手にしてたっていうか。
What's wrong with me? Alice held the sides of her head and writhed around, her face a deep shade of crimson.
とにかく今のはなんていうか、事故ついのことっていうか、気にしなくていいっていうか。
Just sounds like your body just forced you to do it.
だけど気にしてほしいというか、いやそれは私がどうって言うんじゃなくて、もうちょっと自分を大事にしてほしいというか。
Calm down a little, okay? I wasn't panicking because Alice was doing plenty for both of us. In reality, I had so little idea what was going on that I could have started thrashing around at any second. My heart was pounding just like I'd run a marathon, and to be honest, I still didn't quite understand what just happened.
いいな。トールはそうやって落ち着いてて、キスなんて大したことないですか？そうですか？
I'm trying to stay calm. That's not, Before I could finish, Alice drank her black tea in one gulp with her hand on her hip like a man. Then she ran for the doors.
ダメ。なんかトールの顔見てると落ち着かない。だから今日はここまで。もうなんかわけわかんない。
Okay. Well, she opened the doors easily and jumped through. From the other side, she stuck her head back in halfway and looked at me warily. You can open it easily, was what I would have liked to say. But I couldn't calm down enough or ask what she meant by leaving now.
そういうわけでおやすみ。またね。
Okay, bye. Alice pulled back the doors, behind the doors and shut them. And with the sound of the doors closing, there was only silence. Yup. What the hell just happened? I noticed that I had stood up from the sofa. I sat back down heavily and sighed. We kissed, didn't we? Why? I couldn't wrap my head around it, but I accepted that fact more easily than I thought. The lack of strangeness was in and of itself. Was strange in and of itself. Could it be that I knew her? I couldn't remember at all. I didn't feel like moving by myself, so until the time came to wake up, I continued to sit on the sofa in a daze. Well, of course, like, that means, like, I feel like, I don't know, they might just be the same person? Oh, God. It's just they looked differently. That's not, like, a...
別に。
Oh, stop it, Kaiko. That's not, like, a thing that's happened with any other character. We've all looked the same when we go into our dreams, right? Like, me, the main character, we look the same. The only difference is we don't have our glasses when we're in the dream, right? Club Prez, Saki, Kaiko, all of them look the same when we're in the dream. Alice, however, is a strange case because we know of that one girl, and just from that small interaction with her in Saki's route, the girl in the hospital, one, she had different eye color and shit, and two, like, her personality wasn't Alice. it wasn't. It was very real, very, very serious, very like down to earth, I guess. Not necessarily serious, but whereas Alice is more like, you know, carefree and childlike, and also had different colored eyes. So that's why I was like, okay, maybe they might be different people. Like, I just, or you know, like two separate entities, but like of the same thing. Dude, we're gonna figure this out. All right, guys. Well, we've done literally everything else, so the only one left is to take the key with the heart-shaped handle and see where that takes us. I grabbed the key with the heart-shaped handle. As my hand closed around it, I realized it looked similar to the design of the heart-shaped shears Alice had. Of that woman that I hate. Her grinning mouth disappeared, leaving behind a voice which sounded slightly unhappy. I could no longer touch Maya, even if I reached out for her. More importantly, as soon as Maya was gone, the room began to waver as it would crumble away at any moment, which it does. Damn it, where does this go to? I hurriedly flew to the entrance. If I guessed right, the doors should open with this. As the room slowly melted, I tried to shove the key into the lock, but because I was in such a hurry, the key wouldn't go in. Ah, damn it. Ah! Dude, you gotta be calm. My hands were slippery, but I somehow got the key in. I turned it until it made a clicking sound. I somehow jumped through the doors before the room crumbled completely. Dude, that's freaky, though. That'd be scary. Oh, God. Ah! I just fall. As expected, there wasn't any ground beyond the door either, so all I could do was fall. Luckily, my pointlessly large bed was underneath me. Oh, thank God. Well, when I first got it, they told me it was new, but I couldn't help but wonder if they were about to throw it out or something. Regardless, that was where I was going to land. The only problem was that there was already a visitor on the bed, and I was about to fall right on top of her. Oh. Oh, God. Ah! Thankfully, I didn't crush her. Apparently, I wasn't as high up as I thought. Awkward. My face was completely buried in Alice's chest. Uh-oh. I felt a little reluctant to move, but it wouldn't do for me to stay that way. Sorry, Alice, I'll move. I'll just... Hold on. I put my hands on the bed and tried to sit up, but the bed was really soft and threw me off balance. Plus, Alice pulled on my hand. Whoa! What? Alice, what are you... I don't know! Eh? My face fell back onto her chest again. But when I looked up, Alice was looking back at me with a serious expression on her face. Oh, if you don't know your own name, then does that mean... Alice nodded. I had a very, very bad feeling about this. Oh, God. She said with a serious face. Oh, God. What is happening now? Okay, I guess this is happening. It was so crazy a moment ago that we took a break and I made some tea. Even as I was making the tea, Alice sat on the sofa quietly with her feet properly on the floor. Normally, she'd have her legs up on the chair, which was hardly good manners, and also made it hard for me since I didn't know where to look. Now I kind of missed it. So, Alice? Which, when I called her name, Alice shot straight up in her seat. It felt so different that I couldn't help but stare at her. You were suddenly in this apartment and you don't remember anything. Weird. Alright. Okay, don't add that last bit, because that is not... Just so you know, it wasn't on purpose. I had already told her that this was my apartment. She seemed convinced after I showed her the men's clothing in the closet and other things, but that didn't really make the situation any better. No, which is weird as to why you're here. No, come to think of it, I don't know anything about where you live. Or really anything about you. Alice looked down, seeming very disappointed. It looked like she still had a habit of holding her cup with both hands. But amnesia, huh? The situation made my head spin. I couldn't think of anything else it could be. The reason I had chosen Alice's key back then was because if I was going to be fighting against a dream, she seemed like she would be the most reliable. But Alice had completely lost her memory and was now quietly sipping cocoa. Is there anything you do remember? At all? Alice furrowed her brow and thought desperately. But partway through, she started moaning like she was more troubled than she was thinking. Though this might sound inconsiderate, watching her do this was more relaxing than usual.
そうだ。
Okay, we're on to something. Do you remember anything?
そうじゃなくて、あなた、トールくん、君、私のこと知ってるんだよね。
Yes, that's something that is a thing. Yeah, sorta.
だったらほら、なんかこう、もっと私のこと教えてほしいんです。そこから思い出せるかもしれないじゃないですか。
Oh, that's the problem. About you, huh? As I drank my coffee, instant like her tea, since I just made it with boiling water, I looked at Alice again. She must have gotten nervous from me looking at her because she put her cup down, put her knees together, and straightened up, almost like she was here for an interview. But I barely know anything about you.
なんですかそれ。
It's true! Well, you hardly told me anything about yourself. You don't even remember when you wake up, or the memories you have when you're awake. I could tell her that she couldn't remember anything except her dreams, but in this situation, that might just make her more confused.
なるほど。つまり私は謎多き女だったわけですね。
A mysterious beauty, yes. Okay. You're taking this better than I would have expected.
余裕というか、もう綺麗に忘れてるんで何を忘ればいいのかわからなくて。
That's sad. Oh, I see.
だけど、これからどうしよう。
Well, until we find out where you live, or you could stay at my place, or where? Normally there was a place it was safe to go. There was someone, but I couldn't remember. Oh, my train of thought abruptly stopped right there. You could stay at my place. I live alone anyway.
一人暮らしの男の子の部屋に？そんなのダメだって。
Where else are you gonna go? Saki's? Huh, I forgot who she was. I'm saying just in case. Of course it would be better if we found your home, right? Or would you rather stay at a manga cafe or a capsule hotel? Because those capsules, that's claustrophobic right there.
それは嫌かな。もう一度聞くけど、本当に私の知り合いなんだよね。
I am, and lately we've been seeing each other almost every day. I didn't know whether to say that it had been in dreams. Might be too much to talk about dreams to Alice and when she was in this state. I mean, wasn't it strange that Alice was just in my room in the first place? If she was, this had to be... My train of thought was interrupted again. Even though I was thinking about something perfectly natural, for some reason I immediately stopped caring. Weird. I didn't care, so I didn't feel any anxiety or any unease.
ほとんど毎日か。もう今のところ他に頼れる相手もいなさそうなんだよね。
I can understand why you don't trust me. Look, trust me. I get it. Don't trust me. Wait, what? After all, I didn't have a shred of evidence that I really knew her. It was even possible for her to think that I was the one who had erased her memory and brought her here. But Al shook her head.
信用するよ。
Alright, progress. Why? You're too trusting.
それはトールに言われたくないな。
I felt like I heard those words somewhere. I was gonna say, yeah. As though it were normal, I stopped caring about that too. Okay, I just don't care. Why do you trust me?
ほら、トールくん、私のことをアリスって呼ぶよね。そ それがしっくりくるから、多分これが私の名前なんだろうなって。
Well, how do you know when it feels right? I see. Well, it'll help if you do trust me.
それで私のことなんだけど。
About you, if I had to say, pretty much the only thing I know is that we go to different schools.
あれ、学校違うの？ほとんど毎日って言ってたから、てっきり一緒だと思ったんだけど。
It was after school that we'd meet. Alice frowned.
学校？
Yeah. What, is there something about school?
なんか私、そこを知ってる気がする。
Why wouldn't you? She had said she was the same age as me, so it wouldn't be strange for her to still be going to school. What? Alice faced me with a rather easy-to-understand gaze full of hope. Her looking at me was like that made me look away. Don't do it. I heard the school I go to and the one you go to are different, but I don't know where your school is.
トールくんの学校なんか気になるから、やっぱり行ってみたいな。
God damn it. We had gone several times in dreams, so it wasn't like she didn't know the place. Come to think of it, I checked the calendar on my watch and saw that it was Sunday. The school would only be open for club activities and such, so it wasn't like we couldn't get in. In fact, maybe it was the best that today was a day off. Alice didn't have a uniform, but she would probably just get a warning at worst. Then shall we go? Might as well. And then he's like, then I stopped caring about this too. Seeing Alice nod so excitedly, it struck me that even with her memories gone, Alice was still Alice. Then again, how well did I really know her? Not at all. That question was not important, because we stopped caring. I feel like that's a pretty important question. We need to figure out everything about Alice. That's the thing. She is the enigma of this game, and always has been. Even more enigma-y than Maya. And Maya was a pretty big enigma. At the entrance, I showed my student ID and said we were in the science club. The security guard let us through without much issue. Security guard? I had been nervous about being with Alice in her casual clothes, but it turned out fine. Though we had to withhold her name, so if anything happened, I would be the first they'd suspect. So don't make too much of a fuss.
わかってますよ。
No fuss. Alice followed along behind me, shuffling the guest shoes she had arbitrarily borrowed from the entrance. She looked around curiously, sometimes stopping.
やっぱり私、ここを知ってると思う。
Well, you have been here. That's because you've come here with me before.
そうじゃなくて、もっとこう。
I could tell that Alice was searching for something in her mind. I watched in silence so as to not disturb her, but... Oh, God.
なんだお前も休みだっていうのに学校来てたのか
Wait, you're here even when it's the day off. An overly familiar hand grabbed me by the shoulder. Tetsuya! Where'd you come from? Alice winced in surprise at our voices.
お前が何かぼーっとしてたから脅かしてやろうと思ってな
I don't have time.
あんまりいたずらしちゃダメだよ。
Asi, help! From behind Tetsuya, Asi walked up with an annoyed expression. Why are you two here even though it's a day off?
朝日の手伝いでちょっとな
With what? That probably wasn't the biggest reason. They probably just wanted to be together, but there was no reason to say that out loud. Tetsuya put his hands tightly around my shoulders and pushed his face against mine.
そんでお前こそどうしたんだよ
Well, what do you mean? What about me? It went without saying that Tetsuya was wondering about Alice. Alice stood stock still. The sudden intruder seemed to have made her forget about her, lost memories.
見覚えのない可愛い子連れてきてるみたいだけど何なんだ どうしてお前の周りばかりこんなことになるんだ？あ？
Just gets more aggressive as time goes by. It's a pain, but I get the feeling I'm going to have to experience this exchange many times over.
哲也くんはなんでそんなに無理やりなの？ほら、離れて離れて。
Get off him. Asi cut in between us and pulled Tetsuya away. She wasn't really trying, but then again, Tetsuya who could go against Asi wouldn't be Tetsuya. I know, Alice. I'll be with you in a second. Sorry. Actually, it's Tetsuya's fault, not mine, but I'm sorry anyway.
おい、そりゃねえんじゃねえか？
What do you mean? It is your fault. Asi gave Tetsuya a knee collapsing low kick when he complained. These are my classmates, Asi and the creature that is apparently her boyfriend Tetsuya.
待てよ。俺の方が付き合い長いだろうが。なんで朝日の方が先なんだよ。
Because Asahi has more authority than you do. She wears all the pants in the relationship. Because Alice is scared of you, so I thought I'd place a little distance between you. Asahi gave a resigned laugh. Both of them were just going to let the creature that is apparently her boyfriend part slide.
それでトールくんはどうしたの？そっちのあれ
Asi looked at Alice and tilted her head with her usual expression. Before I could even wonder what was up,
なんだ彼女か？彼女に学校紹介か？
why does your excitement rise explosively when the topic of girls comes up? Tetsuya's high spirits finally caused Alice to back up behind me.
だってよ、お前にもついに彼女ができたかと思うと幸せで。
This is not my girlfriend. Why do you have to be happy about it?
ばっか、俺ばっかり幸せだと、お前一人でますますいじけるだろうが。
Well, whoever moped on their own. Tetsuya casually slipped his arm around my neck and tried to get me into a headlock. This was his way of showing he cared while venting his jealousy.
トールくんの友達なんだよね。はい、そうだと思います。
Why'd she say that? Why'd she say the I think so part? Asi tilted her head slightly at that. God damn it.
だと思います？お前、向こうは一歩進める気満々じゃねえか。
No! Why do you always have to swing things in that direction? Have you ever thought that maybe we're not quite friends yet?
あれ？私ってトールくんの友達なんだよね。
We are, but you said I think so, so.
トールくん？
Uh-oh. Asi's voice sounded a little like it did when she was about to go off on Tetsuya. Look, we're friends, okay? There's no mistaking that, so don't worry. Only, I got the feeling that telling them Alice had amnesia would make things more complicated. But what should I say?
トールくんがそんな風に言うなんて珍しいね。
Well,
それどういう意味ですか？だってトールくんって
you could say I don't have many friends. Alright, I'm a loser. I get it.
実際少ないからな。
I get. Well, fuck you. I get it. I made a half-ass swing at Tetsuya's face, but he caught and held my arm.
ああもう。だけど本当に友達だなんていう相手少ないからびっくりした。そうなんですか？私トールくんにはいろいろ優しくしてもらってるんですけど。
It's because I keep everyone at arm's length.
おお。へえ。
Don't give me this face. Tetsuya's look was seriously pissing me off, but I bore it in silence.
あ、もともとトールくんは優しいよ。だけど周りが距離を置いちゃってるっていうか。
They keep their distance, I keep mine. It's a good way of life. Alice tilted her head. I put my palm against Tetsuya's face and pushed it aside, putting an end to our futile battle. Let's save that for next time. Today I just came here to show Alice around.
私が興味があるからってわがまま言っただけで、トールくんはそれを叶えてくれただけなの。
At those words, Tetsuya grinned
お
again.
前がちゃん以外の女の子の頼みを聞くなんてね。
Right. Although Tetsuya had said something this now, I wasn't able to make it out because I forgot.
そういうこと言わないの。あ、そっか。それなら二人の邪魔しちゃ悪いかな。
Very, very much so, actually, yes.
そういうわけじゃないですけど、
No, no, it is. That's exactly what's... Alice glanced at me out the corner of her eye. Felt like the gaze, that gaze caused Tetsuya and Asi to misunderstand something again. Actually, didn't you guys have something you needed to do?
それは終わったから。
Fuck. Tetsuya nodded. He wasn't even trying to hide the fact that he was intensely interested in me and Alice's relationship. And for some reason, he was grinning like an idiot. Don't tell me you're planning on coming with us. I thought it would be a pain if they stuck their heads into the matter of Alice's amnesia.
ごめんなさい。今日はトール君とちょっと話したいことがあって。
And here comes the misunderstandings.
こっちこそごめんね。興味本位で。本当に。
It's like, go on, get. Asi gave Tetsuya a sidelong glance. Tetsuya averted his eyes with all his might, seemingly not wanting to be glared at by Asi. I got the feeling that what Alice had said had just caused them to misunderstand even more. The dude, I was telling you, see? Well, whatever. See you guys. We'll be going now.
ごめんね、邪魔して。
Yeah, go on, get.
別に邪魔とかそういうのじゃなかったから。
そうならよかったけど。
That's good. See you later.
トール、お前何するにしても責任はちゃんと取れよ。
I knew someone was gonna say that.
ほら、またそういうことを言う。
Just slaps him upside the head. Or the low kick again. Tetsuya received another knee collapsing kick to the low kick from Asi. Alice smiled nervously as Tetsuya crumpled. Just fucking destroy. Dude, she destroys him and it's great. And I love it. It's always a whoa. This is a new background. Dude, that's KFC. We have a KFC here? Bruh. I want to eat. Oh, now I want chicken. Oh, I'm so hungry. We were on our way back after wandering around the school. In the end, Alice didn't remember anything in particular. Well, it's not a place that I'm all too familiar with anyway.
わがまま言ってごめんね。
Don't worry about it. Well then, now what should we do? It might actually be quickest to take Alice to that dream room. But in order to do that, we'd have to sleep, and this time she'd have to stay the night at my apartment. For Alice's sake, I thought it would be better if we avoided that, but I couldn't really think of anything else. When I looked back, Alice, who had been walking next to me, had stopped.
ねえ、トール君。なんでそこまでしてくれるの？
Hard questions. Why?
私のことよく知らないって言ったよね。なのにどうして？
Because although we don't know her, we still feel that connection to her. I was at a loss.
変な下心があるならこうして外に連れ出すこともないはずだし、さっき友達の前でも気を使ってくれたよね。ねえ、私ってトール君にとって何なの？
Oh, Jesus, this is a big question. Well...
なんとなくとかおせっかいとかそれだけじゃないよね。
No, it was true that maybe I would have been able to overlook it if someone else were in the same situation. But I got the feeling that wasn't the only reason I had helped Alice.
ねえ、もしかしてトール君と私って恋人だったの？
Not yet. Alice smiled apologetically.
泊まっていけばいいとか、こんなに気にしてくれたりとか、もしかしたらって思ったんだけど。
Well...
なんだろうね、全然覚えてないはずなのにトール君のことが気になるんだ。 気にされるのが嬉しくて、
Especially after that experience we had.
なんだかずっと前から知っていたような気がして変だよね。
Uh-huh. See, they keep dropping these fucking hints, dude.
だったらもっと私のことも知ってるはずだし、トールくんを見て思い出すこともあったはずだよね。
That's... I hesitated. I wasn't able to tell Alice that we weren't a couple. And some of her words stuck in my mind. It was like I was forgetting something, but didn't even know what that
ご
was.
めんなさい、迷惑をかけて。
You haven't!
だけど
Uh-oh. Alice looked like she was about to cry. No crying! I didn't want to make Alice look like this. And yet, what could it be? There was something whirling in my mind unrelated to that. I was forgetting something. Even though I didn't want to remain like this, I couldn't even remember what it was that I'd forgotten. It wasn't just Alice. I was being made to forget, too. The thought weighed on my mind. Or did it?
ごめんね、トールくん。
Oh, I hugged Alice as she looked like she was about to cry. Yeah! That's my thing. I like to always just be like, alright, just huggles. That's it. Don't apologize.
だけど
Shh. Shh. Oh, shit. Shh. Let's go remember. This place itself is wrong. Oh, well, did I just realize that? The sense of reality faded from the whole town? No. The sky and everything, like it was a photograph. It felt like Alice was the only one there. When the surroundings warped just beyond the disappearing scenery, I could see that dark forest again. No! No! And a sweet smell, not of pastries, but of flowers, made me dizzy as my surroundings went black. Uh-oh. Well, I mean, are we gonna appear in the, yep, in the darkness? And the next thing I knew, I was lying on the sofa in that room. Had I been able to escape that dream? No, that couldn't be. Oh, hell. A sweet smell had permeated the area. I felt dizzy. This was still Maya's world.
大丈夫、トール。
Yes. Well, Alice? Alice was the only one in the room with me, and her tone of voice wasn't the somewhat distant one from just a second ago. All right. Yeah, somehow. Oh, this is not what I expected. I'm being straddled. Is this like actually happening this time rather than the other time with the things and the Glavins, where the things were happening but it wasn't happening? That's literally, I guess, what you could say about this dream or this game, where things happen but they don't happen. I'm being straddled, basically what's happening here. Well, all that occurred. The diddly. Don't know. I can't. That one felt again like it was of course. You know what? You know what? I'm just leaving. I'm gonna got that HC and all banked up in the Patreon. And I'll see you later.